They get very light at high speed. Like, they really do twitch when you turn in. So you have to be super smooth. That's good. Very, very good line through the hairpin. You can probably pop out and go a bit wider on the exit, but middle bit was great. Excellent line through there. You can, again, you can probably run wider on the exit. So once you've gone through the right-hander, you can get on the gas straight away. You've got a lot of room to use. And second bus stop. So I would pull the car further to the left before you turn right into there. It'll really open it up for you. I appreciate you're still learning the track here completely. Okay, you've got the double apex right-hander coming up. One of those ones that's very easy to crash on. And then final corner. Nice! You just about kept it on. That'll do. You can see how it's very, very easy to go too deep there. I'm going to just keep following you for the moment. Yep, so we both went wide there that time. So we'll just go in very slightly slower towards the apex next time. I think your line through there is pretty good. You could probably get tighter slightly earlier, but not bad at all. Now we've got our high-speed left-hander, which is a big lift.
That was completely on the wrong side of the track there.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's why I just reminded you it was a left-hander, just in case. It's easy to have a big crash there. So I think you need to go in quicker, because I nearly ran into the back of you in the middle. So still make that apex on the right, as you did, but the moment you know you're going to make it, get straight on the gas and carry the speed, because you've got a lot of room to play with on the exit.
Oh, gotcha. Oops, sorry.
I'll show you what I mean next time. I might go in front of you for that corner next time, just to show you exactly where I want you to go. No, sorry. I mean when we get to that section of track. Sorry, we're into the first chicane.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go into that one slower next time, so you can really hit the red and white apex curves. And you can hug this one, just stay left all the way around on the start straight. Maybe not on the grass. You made it. Good job. Okay, so this time in the long left-hander that's coming up, try and get to the red and white apex curve slightly earlier. So just get to the inside and then just kind of balance the throttle. That's cool. You will get a quicker exit by going deeper and cutting back. But yeah, you'll overall be quicker doing it like you did it there. So then we have to lift for this left-hander. Nice. We got our banked corner.
Is it second or third here?
Second, yeah, second. So I'm just going to come past you just to show you what I mean about this chicane. So you're doing the entry really, really well. So I'm going to go a bit slower just so you can be right near me. So you're doing this section really well. But on the exit here, let it go all the way to the left where I am here, and then you'll just carry way more speed, because at the moment you're trying to keep it right to then cut left. But it's such a gentle corner, you don't need to do that. You can take it full throttle even when you're already on the left. Okay, so this one. So stay nice and close behind me. I'll show you. So we just use all this curb here. We're in the middle of the track for the approach to the second one, and then use that curb. Same again, middle of the track, but all the way left. To then lift, turn, bunch of curb, and then flat out up the hill like that.
Okay.
I'm letting you back in front.
This track and this car combo is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's a realistic combination as well. You know, these cars really race here, so it's It's suited to the track. They did race Formula 1 cars here in the 70s, but I don't think it was ever a Grand Prix. It was like one of those non-championship races.
Oh yeah. Also 70s cars, right? Like I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they used to race in Brands Hatch. I don't think they could race in
Yeah.
Brands Hatch today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So let me focus on. Let me try to get a good lap because I think.
Yeah.
The
I'm gonna
rhythm
keep
is not
quiet.
there yet. Yeah, the rhythm is not there
Don't
yet.
worry if you get off tracks. You know, if you get 1x and for going wide, don't worry about that for the moment. Just find a rhythm. I'm going to keep quiet now for the next couple of laps just so you can concentrate. But yeah, just go as quick as you can and let's get some laps in. That's okay. You've kept it out of the barriers, so well done. You still haven't had a crash yet. I don't want to speak too soon, but you're doing a great job. Very good lap time improvement. So carry a little bit more speed now. I think you definitely went quicker, but I think maybe the lock-up on the entry was put you a bit more offline.
What speed are you in? Oh, sorry, what gear are you in these sections?
Right now I'm in third, so I'll tell you what gear I'm in everywhere. So I'm up to fourth. I'm braking down to third for this double right-hander.
Okay, yeah. I never went up to fourth.
Okay.
And right after the chicane with the two tire barriers, I'm on second.
Yep, so I'm second through the chicane. And then I'll tell you this lap which gear I'm in actually, because I'm not thinking about it. So I have to see when I get there. So I'm third gear for turn 1. So I drop down to third from fourth for turn 1. I'm just going to go ahead and just and I'll tell you what gear I'm in. So I'm in fourth gear at the moment, braking down to third, and I'm third all the way through this one. Yep, so that's all third. I'll be up to fourth on this straight. I think fourth is the highest I get up to here. Yep, so fourth all the way down here. And then it's brake, down to third, down to second, into here. And I just stay second and hug the inside. I did used to use first here, but second was quicker.
Okay.
And then I'll be up to third. I'm up to third here. And then I'm braking and going down to second.
I locked up, okay. Yep.
That's alright. You've avoided contact with anything, so well done. And then I'll be up to fourth by the end of this straight, just about. And then I brake and go down to second for these. So I'm in second through here. I'm still in second, I'm still in second, I'm still in second, I'm still in second.
Oh, okay, so
and now I'm up to third.
Right.
Yeah, all of that was second. Right, I'm getting back out of your way now.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, all the way to second. And then you just follow the...
All these kind of like pretty high speed but sketchy, tricky corners, they tend to be third. Except the final corner here, which is second.
Try to stay on the left.
Yep, stay left all the way around here. Just take the shortest line. That's it.
And how do you take the first one? Third?
So I brake early down to third gear and just very gently turn in to try and hit the apex. Pretty similar to what you did there. That was a really decent effort. So I just try and maximise that technique, except it's tricky.
Except do it well.
Yeah, it's exactly what we were both aiming to do through there. And I do a very similar thing into that corner we just went through there. You know, brake early, turn early and gently, and don't overwhelm the tyres, particularly the rear tyres.
Okay, I feel like the previous corner, I can get on the power pretty early. I don't know.
Which one, sorry?
So you remember the corner we just went through? You said it's a lift.
Oh yeah, the high speed one.
Yeah, and then you want to feed the power as early as possible.
Yeah.
Still, this is very difficult for me here. That section is kinda... I tend to struggle quite a bit.
Yeah, the
here.
car floats around a lot. So for this one, try turning in slightly earlier for this chicane. So we'll go in next time just a little earlier than you did that time.
Okay, turn in earlier. Okay.
For the right-hand part of that second chicane. Yeah, you're going a little bit like 90 degrees at the moment. I think we can make it more diagonal towards the first apex.
Okay, so maybe after this lap we can go over the data to discuss like where the low-hanging fruits are, because I think I'm starting to see. I mean, obviously I would need more time to just do better, because clearly I'm still making like pretty terrible mistakes. But I would be curious to see like what the obvious mistakes are from the telemetry.
Yeah, we'll do the low-hanging fruit for sure. We've got 4 litres-ish of fuel left, so we could run till the fuel runs out if you want, and then we've done a full session, basically. You've done an amazing job to not break the car in your first run here. You know, to keep it in one piece so we can carry on like this is really awesome. I'm very pleased.
Thanks, man. But it's at the cost of speed.
Yeah, but what you're not doing is wasting time having to restart and not learning the track like you are learning each time.
Yeah,
so you said this corner is difficult.
Yeah, you see, there it is. And boom, there you go.
I think you're still going to keep it out of the wall. If you want, we can stop there and look at the data, since we've had a natural pause.
I think I overloaded the tires on the rear, definitely left.
I'm going to watch.
Rear is definitely...
Let's see what happened from my view here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were going a similar speed. But yeah, so I think you turned in more sharply than me. See how your nose is... Look at the angle you're at now. I don't know, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
So you see the angle your car's at now? And how it's still... You're like pointing towards the grass. And you're still pointing towards the grass. And you're still pointing towards the grass. So you've definitely turned in much tighter than I have at this point. And you're still heading towards the grass. And it's only now, I think, where you're doing something about it. But the momentum is keeping you going. Yeah, the rear just wants to keep going. And yeah, you can see the opposite lock you've got on here. I can see you've got some on just there. I know I'm looking at my view, but... And then obviously it just comes back like an overcorrection, but that's just normal. But yeah, hang on, I'm going to go back in slow-mo because it's really good to see from my view. This one corner. So yeah, it's that initial turn. I bet you lifted at the same time as you turned. And I'm just using a lot less steering, I think.
Yeah, I think
That was a cool view, though. I had a great view of that. Right, should we look at some data? So, we need to jump out of the car and just be in the garage. You probably are already. And let's check the data. So, I've got mine loaded already. Let's find yours. But well done, man. That was great. That was a really, really good first run.
Yeah, it was a super nice session. I'm glad that
the track's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
right,
it's a very nice track.
So, we're looking at your best lap. Once it loads, let's make you red so I can tell the difference. There we go. Okay, cool, right, so let's look at the low-hanging fruit. I mean, there's obviously going to be big gaps everywhere at the moment. So let's find where the easiest ones are. Okay, so basically it's going to be anywhere... It's going to be anywhere where the minimum speed is the biggest difference to my minimum speed. So the good news is... Turn 1, turn 2, which are those two tricky high-speed corners, the right-hander and the left-hander. I don't want you to worry about those too much right now because you're not far off. It's not perfect, obviously, and the main thing I can see is that you're... I don't want my cursor to be in the way, but essentially for turn 1 and turn 2, you're slowing down a bit too much and then speeding up before you get to the slowest point, if that makes sense, because you're realising, oh, I'm going a bit too slow. So you see your speed drops down, speeds up, and then drops again. And same for turn 2. It drops down to here, and then speeds up to here, and then drops down again. Which, you know, that shows that you realised when you got into the corner, I could have gone quicker. And then you tried. So that's something we can work on, but I wouldn't focus on that too much as low-hanging fruit. I also wouldn't worry about that high-speed left where you had that off, because again, you're not that far off. Your speed profile, if I move my cursor out of the way, we're looking at this bit just here. Your speed profile is quite similar to mine. You know, you reach a peak and then it slows down a bit to get round the corner. You then obviously speed up a bit because you've overslowed it, so you accelerate up to the braking point. Whereas although I'm on the throttle, I'm still decelerating because I'm on the throttle whilst scrubbing speed. But the main thing is there's not a huge gap, and it's all three of those corners are very, very easy to spin and crash if you try too hard. So I think those will come a bit more naturally. Let's not worry about them just yet. And we're also not going to worry too much about the hairpin, where you also do your speed profile where you drop down, speed up, and then drop down again. So you can see you've got two decelerations. It almost looks like two corners on the data, where you slow down a bit too much, realise that, speed up slightly, slow down again. Again, that will, the more practice you have, the more you'll get used to when you can brake. Turns out you actually were braking at exactly the right point, and you were slowing down at exactly the right rate, until you then braked even harder, and then you can actually see, if I zoom in, this is into the hairpin, if you look here, your braking pressure is almost exactly the same as mine. Yeah, you brake slightly earlier, only like 5 to 7 meters, so that's fine. But look at how much pressure. You're giving it just the right amount of pressure so you don't lock up or overload the car. And then you hit the pedal harder when you get nearer. You're like, oh, I think I should go slower. And you can see that's exactly when the speed drops down more. Because you're matching my deceleration here, and then it goes down much further. Whereas mine tails off a bit. So anyway, that's again, don't worry about that. That'll come naturally. You're not very far off in terms of minimum speed. Probably the big ones, if we ignore this little kink. That's interesting. Are you lifting off here? What's happening here? Let me just zoom in. So we're looking at the flat-out right-hander. So this is the flat-out right before the first bus stop chicane. So you've done the hairpin, and then you've just got a full throttle section before you go into that straight... You know, the chicane where I said you brake in a straight line. But why does your speed drop away? I'm just going to zoom in and see what actually happens. So... Ah, okay. It's here that I'm looking.
You know what? I fucked up the gear. I think you went up a gear and then I in the lower gear.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That well remembered, because looking at the rest of the data, there's nothing obvious. You're full throttle, so why is it not speeding up? And you're not braking, and the steering trace is fine. But you're right, you've hung in the same gear. You've stayed in second and hit the limiter. That's why. There's no...
Crazy. What's the delta? What's the delta like in the middle? Like, it's crazy that you picked up on that, actually, yeah. But it's a huge... Yeah, what's the difference at this point? Yeah, like...
I'll tell you what you lost because of it. So there, the speed difference is like 16, 17 kilometers an hour, something like that, that you lost because you didn't change up. So that was quite big. And in terms of the lap time delta, you go from... Let's say you were supposed to have already changed up. So where should you have changed? Here. So let's look at from where you should have changed. You were 2.16 seconds behind. And then when you did change here, by the time you changed, you'd lost 0.2. But in that whole section up to here, you lost like 3 and a bit tenths, I think. So that's from that gear change. But anyway, that's what that is. So we can ignore that. Right.
Yeah,
on to the... Sorry, go on.
No, I definitely like. I remember thinking I remember as I was going through this entire session, I was thinking about what gear I should be in, and that's a good sign that like gear I should never be thinking about, like when I know the track. So I'm definitely still behind on that.
Onto the actual low-hanging fruit. So there's maybe there's 3 corners where there's a really obvious minimum speed difference. It's here. And it's here, and it's here. So they're the ones where you really are, you know, 20 kilometers an hour slower than you need to be. Although, actually, this one here is only... Yeah, it's actually that you've reached your minimum speed here when I'm already speeding up out of the corner. But that's more almost 30 kilometers an hour difference. But if we look at your minimum 76, my minimum was 84. So it's only like 10-ish K difference. But it makes a huge amount of lap time difference because... It's in a slow corner. You're in the corner for quite a long time. So anyway, it's an easy fix. So we're talking about the first bus stop chicane. I'm going to watch back your lap in a moment, so I'll go on board with you and watch it. But just on the data, the clear difference, if we zoom in, is that you brake later than me, but much harder. So you go all the way up to 100% brake pressure, and you stay on those brakes even though you're going slower at this point, and you basically keep them on enough. The reason that you go slow is because you're intending to go slow, obviously, but you don't have to. We want to go through that corner faster. So let's just pause on this corner for the moment and look back at what actually happened. So I'll go on board with you. Let's find the lap. It was this lap. And we'll fast forward to that corner. Let's see what actually happened. So you won't hear this, but I'm about to hear you hit the rev limiter, I think, in second.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still in second. There, so we're up to third. Anyway, right, let's see what happened in the corner and then we'll talk about it. I'll just run it through in full speed. Okay, this is easy to fix. Right, so first of all, although you did a nice straight line, you did a straight line from the wrong part of the track, and I can already see right now that you're basically aiming at that tyre barrier there, whereas we want to be aiming at the gap between the 2 tyre barriers. So the way we're going to aim our straight line here, the way you're going to line it up, is we want basically the left front tyre to almost kiss this one and almost kiss that one, and that's pretty much... It might not look like that when I go on board with mine, but essentially we want to start wider. So if I go to an outside view, not that one, we want to be over here at this point, because we want to be aiming... Oh, I've got the wrong camera view. You can actually see where my car's positioned here, because I'm taking the line I want to take. And even from this kind of 3D view, you can see how much easier this corner's about to be for me, even though I'm also about to break in a straight line. So let's go to that view. I'm just going to move the camera down so you can see what you can see. There we go. So yeah, so you can see from this view, you're going to have to basically re-angle the car in the middle of the corner. Whereas we want to stay on the white line a little bit longer, so when you peel off it, it's an easy straight line between the two. You might not have done this on every lap, but this is certainly why it's difficult on this lap. So you go in, that then forces you to be on this horrible trajectory over a bit too much curb. I want you to use the curb, but maybe not quite as much as this. I'll check my lap in a minute. But right now you can see, look, you are aiming directly at that tyre barrier. And that means you're going to have to go left-right. And my whole aim for this corner, because the shape of the track allows for it, my aim is to only make this a right-hander. So although the shape of the track is left, right, left, I want it to just be right, left, because I've already done the left part back here, back at this section, like here. I've turned left here. I don't have to do it there, if that makes sense. What that'll do is, it'll mean you'll just be going way, way faster. So the reason you stayed on the brakes harder and longer than me there is purely because you had to, because you were about to drive into a tyre barrier. And then you were obviously very, very tight here, and that made that life difficult. So that's fine. That's fixed by just turning in a bit later here. And I'm going to go just on board with my lap.
This actually reminds me of the... what's that? What was the track we did before? With the bomb, with the bomb spot.
Oh, did we do Snetterton? Yeah, with the bomb hole.
Snetterton, yeah.
Yes.
With the bomb hole, yeah. There is that after that long straight, so there is like a very, very, very technical chicane. I mean double, and then there is a long, and then there is a corner that tricks you into thinking you can carry so much speed, and then there is like a very, very sharp right-hander, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I remember what I fixed for this was I turned in earlier. So the only thing that was wrong with that, well, not the only thing, but the main thing that was wrong with that was the trajectory. And I'm seeing a similar pattern here where like one corner, if I can open it, if I can angle it, like right now from this view.
I want to go through that slot there. You can see, can't you? Okay. Exactly where I'm aiming to go. Well, at least from this angle.
Can you roll it until you actually turn left? Like right now, as soon as you start aiming. Yep, so you're still turning right. Yeah, you stay
starting to make a bit of a pivot now. And you see, by the time we get to this curb, it's a nice, easy straight line in.
Yeah, it's a straight right-hander. Yeah, fuck, okay, now that makes total sense.
Now, I actually went slightly too early on the gas, because I don't want to be there. That's too far. I've gone too early on the gas, but you get the idea. You know, you can see, and at full speed, it's even more obvious.
Yeah, if you just open it up, yeah, that's crazy. You just, like, stay right, like 2 seconds longer, and then all of a sudden that opens up.
And then you can just see the gap through the middle. And although it feels like you're braking in a straight line, technically you are putting on a bit of left lock. You know, there's still some direction change going on here. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that in high speed. There's still some direction change. You can see my brakes are about to come on now, but essentially it's a straight line. It's a very pretty straight line for braking, as good as they come anyway. So yeah, and then that allows you to get tight to that curb, but not quite as fast as I attempted there.
I mean, go back like a little bit. Yeah, play it in slow motion. Yeah, you're close to that second. Like this is very close, and the right is about to be even closer, if I'm not mistaken. Like this is very, very, very freaking aggressive.
Yeah, you don't have to go quite that close. You know, that I'm obviously risking quite a lot there, but you definitely want to be very much on the red and white curb. You know, and not just that. Look at how far round the corner I'm facing at this point. Yeah, like I'm not facing the grass over here. The car is really rotated. I mean, I'm full throttle because the rotation was done back here. You know, it was all done. A little bit of braking. The rear is just coming around, and now we know we're on the right trajectory. Within reason, although I actually got to full throttle probably 5 meters early, which is why I run wide. But and then so if we just go back to you, it'll be just so obvious now when you next drive through that in a minute. It's going to be very, very clear. And I expect you'll naturally open it up. So now when we watch yours again on board.
Yeah.
You physically can't get it round. You couldn't possibly get round there because it's so tight for you, and you're still hard on the brakes at this point.
But this is awesome because like I remember I think there was that one I think there was one corner one lap where like you're like right up on my tail, and I was like, how is he able to get so much faster through this? Because for me I was already thinking, and actually this is so in the whole like learning to drive thing, this is also one thing that I've picked up on is like sometimes I'll think, oh wow, this is incredibly hard, so I don't understand how he's able to go faster. But I think most of the time it's because I make my life
that's exactly it. You can make it easier. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, this
right here is a perfect example of like if I had only stayed right longer.
Yeah, which is very easy to do. It's not like it takes any skill to stay right longer. You know, I didn't do anything special. I just waited 2 seconds longer than you. That's all. So yeah, that's nice though. You know, when it's a thing that is easy to implement, you just didn't necessarily realise it at the time. That's fine. That means you can now easily. Let's change the view here as well, just so we can see for the next section. There we go. Yeah, that's an easy thing to do. You know, just staying right here. There's no skill. There's no car control involved in that. So, right, let's move to the next section.
It's extremely interesting that like I think I already pick up on the fact that I have so much of a harder time on slow to medium speed than high speeds.
Okay.
In general, like, I don't know why it seems to be that. I'm not saying I'm saying like it's easier for me to control it through the higher speed sections than like the slow speed section, even though more time is lost through the slow sections, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be because in the high-speed sections, it requires very, very gentle. There's not as much extreme input happening. So in fact, it's the opposite. In the high-speed sections, the whole point is that you're putting in minimal input. You're trying to be very, very smooth, very, very careful. Although you're going quicker, you're not actually doing as much. Whereas in the slow speed, there's heavy braking crossed with lots of steering, crossed with big direction change, then back on the gas with lots of steering. So there's a lot of overlap of big inputs. Yeah, that might be why. Right, let's move to our next bit, because this is still your best lap. So, obviously... Yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Other section is a repeat. It's a little bit of a repeat of the previous one, but I'd be curious to see what the line is through that. That's the next section.
Yeah, okay, let's see. So first of all, try not to drive on the grass down the straight if you can help it. But I appreciate that you're widening the track, which is good. You know, you're using all the track. So let's see what you do here. So you know I was saying, yeah, okay. So you see, I nearly hit the back of you there, and I was saying to you, turn in earlier for this one. So this is actually the opposite in terms of the problem. The last one you turned in a bit too early. This one we want to turn in earlier. So I want our trajectory to be basically from where you are now straight to that curb, because you know you can see the next corner is much further around. In fact, you can't even see it. But the braking for this one is done in a straight line. We're first of all travelling a lot quicker when we arrive here because we've just done a long straight and it's downhill. And you've got this, it's quite a tight right-hander for the speed that we're going. So you're definitely going to do the vast majority of your brakes on the straight, in a straight line here. But I still want to carry as much speed in as possible. So you don't want to stop the car and then turn in. You want to still carry speed in if you can. So I'll show you what you did again. So we waited quite late. You see me closing in because I'm like, oh shit, he's really stopped the car.
Yeah.
And I don't take the line I want to take there because I'm just trying to avoid hitting you. But we basically want to take more of a diagonal line from here to here. So you do your heavy braking in a straight line, and then you trail the brakes slightly into this one. Well, I'll play your one in full through, and then I'll swap to mine just so you can see the comparison. Yeah, so you are basically treating... This is interesting. So the way you've taken this right would be absolutely perfect if the next left-hander led onto a really long straight. So if you wanted to get the best possible exit from this corner, and that's what really mattered, so you had to be far on the right-hand side here, then what you're doing would be perfect. But because we know what comes next is a very short straight where you actually have to get the car all the way to the left, so really going too quick through this left is actually a negative thing. You know, carrying too much speed through this next left is going to make your life too hard for the following corner. Then what you're doing here isn't the right thing, because you don't want to be able to get such a good entry to this one. There's much.
I don't understand.
That's okay. Yep. I'm glad you don't understand, because it gives me a chance to say it in a different way. So, hang on. Let's get to a different view where this is a bit more obvious, because I want to go up in the air so I can really show you the shape of the track here. Okay. So you know that picking a racing line, you can't choose what the correct line is without knowing what comes next. And in this situation, let's just zoom right out. So in this situation, you've got a very, very short straight that follows this right-hander. So the right-hander you're going to go through here, which looks a lot more gentle from the sky, but it's not. This right-hander is followed by a very short straight. So if the next straight was actually really long, then the key focus for you right here would be to get a very good exit to this corner. Carry the most possible speed on the exit, because you've got lots and lots of time to gradually move to the other side of the track, ready for the next corner, if it's a right-hander, say. So you're going to gain more time by sacrificing the entry to this one, but you'll get a really good exit to this one if you get the car all the way to the right. But we actually know that the exit of this corner is a very short straight, just here to here. And actually the focus is on being all the way to the left, ready to get a good entry to the next right-hander. Because you can't carry good speed through there if you're not all the way on the left-hand side. So what I'm saying is, you're placing too much importance on being on the right-hand side here, when actually it doesn't matter, because you're going to have to slow down for the next right-hander quite soon anyway. So you could just gain loads of time on the entry, accept the fact that you're not going to get the ideal line into this one, but it doesn't matter, because you've got to lift anyway and get over to the left, ready for this next corner. So you're only on full throttle for quite a short period between here and here. So what I'm saying is there's a better compromise than the one you've chosen. I
see. So be greedy on the first corner and pay the price on the second one, because anyway, in other words, if I come out of that corner fast, I'm going to be naturally pushed to the outside, and so I'm going to waste time going all the way back to the left.
Yep, so if you go through there fast, you're going to end up over here somewhere, similar to where you did, and you're going to have to lift off anyway to get the car over to the left here. You see how you didn't quite achieve it? You actually didn't get all the way to the left there, but regardless of that, even if it didn't matter how quickly you had to get to the left, the fact that you've had to sacrifice so much entry speed here just to get the benefit from here to here, which is such a short benefit, means it wasn't worth it. You could have gained more time from here to here by accepting you were going to end up in the middle, basically. So that's a very long and complicated way of explaining it, and there's no way of just knowing that ahead of time. But when you drive it enough, you kind of... I hate using this as an answer, because I like objective answers that people can use as like a model to base their next decision on. But there's no real way of knowing this without trying it and getting a feel for where did you lose more time. And using the lap time delta. You could do the way that you did it, and then you could think to yourself, okay, that felt like quite a lot of effort to stay tight right there. Let's try going in quicker and see what ends up being the best compromise. Because you're probably going to get a much better exit than I did to the left-hander. But if you lose 8/10 and you gain 2/10 from that, then it obviously wasn't worth it. So that's where you kind of then come to the best compromise. It's why having a lap timer in a race car is so important, having a live delta. Because just like in iRacing here, you can just see it. You can figure it out for sure way easier without having to just go on feel. Because your feel will get you some of the way there, but the proper answer is when you know on the timer. So I'm just going to go and show you what I did on my lap through there. I know we've spent quite a long time just looking at these one laps, but that's just... I really want to...
No, this is some shit I could never come up with by just driving around the lap.
So I'm going to go on this view, and then we'll go back to another view. So I know neither of us can hear this at the moment. So I've gone in quick, ended up not even just in the middle, actually. I've even gone further than the middle. I've decided that ending all the way like... hang on, sorry, I can't pause properly. Like, all the way kind of here. I actually never really have a straight section. It's pretty much diagonal from here to here.
Turn, straight.
But I managed to get
And
left,
yeah.
and then I get loads of benefit up the next straight. Because the distance from here, in fact, from here to here, is so much shorter than the benefit I get all the way up this long, flat out uphill section, all the way to here, which is the next braking zone. So basically there's a long benefit to be derived. And not only that, if I go back to, where's the view that we haven't zoomed out on? Not only that, but I get a great benefit on the next long straight, but I also get this benefit into here, getting to go from here to here really fast. So yeah, that's it basically. Going quicker. Let me get rid of this. Going diagonally earlier, so like here to here, diagonally earlier with more speed. Don't worry about ending up on the right because I don't want you to be there anyway. Go straight to this curve on the left. Then get the rotation, not from a nice wide entry line like you were trying, but get the rotation from probably a lift. Let's have a look. Do I lift into there? So yeah, I'm off the throttle here. So the rotation is coming from a little brake and a full lift and now back on the gas once most of the rotation is done. And I know I'm not going to run wide. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to just go on the cockpit just to show you it in car. So we're going down the long straight. And then you can get a lovely exit from here. So yeah, there we go. That's that section. Hopefully that made sense. I'm going to get the data back up.
For sure.
So where are we? So we've gone past this section. So we're all the way back down here now. So here. And you can see that to achieve your tight line, you've had to really slow it down a lot. So you're down like almost 30 kilometers an hour slower so that you can be... This shows you the difference. So you have to go 30 kilometers an hour slower here so that you can go 9 kilometers an hour faster here to here. But it's actually only here, really, where you're 9. Because here it comes down to like 5. But then I get to be faster in the middle of the fast right and all the way up the next straight. So that's where so I've had a lovely benefit on the way in, a little bit of a loss in the middle because you're quicker than me from here to here, but then a really nice gain all the way down the next straight. So yeah, anyway, I've probably talked about that one to death, but you want to go in faster, compromise the middle bit here, but get a really good exit to this nice long uphill straight. That's it. And then we've got, this does look like a bit of low-hanging fruit here. This is the fast right-hander. It's the second to last corner. It's the one I was calling a double apex, and from this map you can kind of see why. You can see that it's squared off in the middle. It's kind of flat from here to here. So it's not a constant radius corner, but your line is constant radius. Well, it should be. You should miss the middle, and you are. I don't think you quite hit the first apex. Let's just watch your video, actually. So I'll show you what I'm aiming for. So I'm looking for apex, pretty much. Okay, I didn't touch it, but you can see I'm pretty close. Apex, wide, apex again. Although you still stay quite tight. It's just you don't stay all the way tight. Otherwise it'd be impossible to do the second part. And then what did we do on your lap? Let's zoom around there. Here we go. So yeah, we missed the first one. Okay, so this is an easy fix again. So if we go to here, you can see on the above view. I'll just zoom in slightly. If it lets me. Where's mine? Why is it not that? There we go. I'll just zoom into here. There we go. It doesn't help your car is the same colour as the track. So you actually don't get all the way to the left. So you've artificially made the corner slightly tighter here anyway. So just make sure you are all the way on the left. And then we didn't make the apex. So actually, the amount of track you've given yourself is basically half the track width. You've allowed yourself to use here to here, basically. That's the zone you've given yourself. And you'll be able to carry a lot more speed if you go from outside all the way to inside here. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but there's definitely like a slightly quicker compromise, and what you've done here is fine. Although actually maybe slightly too early to the second one, but whatever. Yeah, but I mean you were coming off of a less than ideal entry line anyway, so that's certainly not terrible. From the cockpit, how does it look? So let's get rid of this. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious we've got a big gap here, and we turn in a bit late, so we're just going to go in earlier. So wider entry, turn in earlier for this, so you've got a clear...
Yeah, that one I straight up don't have the shape of the corner in my ahead yet.
Yeah. So we'll go back to the map here. You can see that's the shape. It's like apex, apex, flat in the middle. We'll do a quick review of all of the shapes of all the corners in a minute, actually, before we end. So you've really got a good idea. Then the final corner, this is really simple. This is a nice, easy one to change. So you're going in a little bit too quick, so that's easy to fix. Just brake earlier. Oh, actually, no, you're braking... Yeah, you're braking too late. Yeah, so brake earlier. You're currently braking... So I'm at 3875. Yeah, 20 meters too late. So pretty significantly too late, I'd say, for that.
Yeah.
That's then causing you to go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and have to brake really hard. And so then you're going in too deep, braking really, really hard, scrubbing off all the speed, and you've gone too deep on the line. We're about to see it here, so let's just watch it in full speed. So, yeah, so what the data also doesn't tell us, but I can show you here, is you're also not at the edge of the track. So again, giving away a bit of room, which is then additional steering angle you're going to have to find in the middle of the corner.
Yeah.
And then we've gone in a bit too fast, too deep. You've sensibly stayed on the brakes so you don't go off. So that's good. It's just you wouldn't have had to do that if you'd gone in slightly earlier on the brakes. And obviously you want to hit this apex, which you weren't able to do. So the aim is to go from here and definitely hit that bit right there. Really get from here to there. And obviously because you've gone in a bit quick, you couldn't. And that's then massively compromised you on the exit.
Yeah.
And just
I mean,
again,
when you replay it in slow mo, it's quite obvious.
Yeah, it's always easier to watch back in slow mo. I'm just going to zoom to the last bit for me as well, just so you can see what I mean about the shape. So hopefully I'm doing what I say. Yep. So I'm on the white line on the left. Apex there.
Yep.
And then use all the track on the exit. Yep, so I'm full throttle from here, basically. So as the curb ends on the inside. But it's only possible to do that if you braked earlier. So where's the braking point? So I'm braking. There's no reference points here, unfortunately. There's no board or anything like that. You're going to have to do this one on feel. Okay, there's a turn board, and we go now. It's like turn board, you take half a breath, and now it's like one, now. Yeah, it's probably half a second past the turn board. But there's no object at the point you need to brake. It's like here.
Yeah, I see. And then you get a nice... The nose is nicely loaded. And then I think you can dive onto the... There's quite a lot of elevation change into that corner.
Massive. And in real life, it's even more. You really, really feel it in real life. Yeah, so outside, inside... outside. It's kind of one flowing arc. You know, it's very simple to see when you're on this above view. Let's just look at the data again, just so you can see the shape. Yeah, so it's the reason it feels like you can easily run off the track there is because you can see it. When you enter it, it looks like 90 degrees, but it's more than 90 degrees. You know, the corner keeps coming.
90 degrees, yeah.
You hit this apex, and then it continues to tighten, which obviously makes your life difficult. So,
and also even though there is going to be a left-hander, you want to stay on the left because I mean it's not because
it's so gentle. Yeah, it's so easy.
Slightly curves back, but you still want to stay on the left because then the real next corner is the right.
Exactly. Yeah, you just want to take the shortest distance here because you can. You know, there's no need to go any wider because the corner's gentle enough. So from the cockpit view, it's just literally, it's a straight line. So it looks like I'm coming away from the edge. But that's because I'm just taking a straight line from here to the apex, which is over here somewhere. I mean, I could have been tighter. You know, I could have been even shorter than that, but not a lot. There we go. Yeah, that's that lap. And so, all right. So then, let's do a quick recap for you on the data, just so we can see where the main things are. Right. So, turn 1 and turn 2. Don't worry too much about them. Just keep doing them, but creep the speed up to a point where you are actually going off, because you didn't tend to go off very much there. So just kind of going quicker and quicker until you can't go in any quicker, and then try and make the braking event one deceleration rather than slowing it too much and then coming off and then slowing again. Try and reach your minimum speed at one point rather than having two minimum speeds, if you can do that. But don't change too much about your approach to those, because you're not going in very slow. It's only a small difference. I think it's just fine-tuning as you learn the shape of the corners more. The downhill left, which is turn 2, again, yeah, don't change it too much. Just go in slightly earlier and have more of like a gradual deceleration rather than the big one and then a bit of a speed up. You can see on the map here, see how much earlier the blue line goes in? And the red line is the red line, your line there actually goes wide in, and you get too good an exit. Because look at how tight you're able to come off the corner. You actually shouldn't be able to do that. But because you've gone wide on the entry, you've given yourself, you know, too much of an easy time where you could have just got in a bit quicker. So anyway, that's that. You've then got the high speed left. Again, the only thing I can say for that is just go in slightly faster, because you were 10 kilometers an hour slower when you got there, and you slowed it down to 10-ish kilometers an hour slower through the apex. You don't need to do a full lift. So this is a weird thing. I've done a tiny 6% brake to get the weight on the nose, but without lifting fully. And what that's doing is that's stopping the car from putting too much weight on the nose. The reason you're finding that instability, and the reason you had that spin in front of me on the last lap we did, is because you're fully lifting, and you're lifting for quite a long period. All the weight goes to the nose on the way in, and then the rear wants to come around. Whereas I'm going in quicker, but I'm also more stable because I'm not fully lifting. I'm just gently braking to briefly put a bit of weight on the nose and then off. But the brake is barely anything. You could probably do it with just this half lift. But I'm going down to 25% throttle, not 0. And that's just enough that keeps the weight on the nose, but without putting too much weight on the nose, if that makes sense. Your big lift is quite a big deceleration. But yeah, you're not doing anything wrong with the steering. I can see that your steering trace is very, very similar to mine, just very, very gentle. You're using slightly more lock, like 5 degrees, but it's barely anything. But what's interesting is at this point of that fast left, I'm using a lot more lock than you, but that's because I'm going through quicker. That's because I have to.
Yeah, you're going faster, yeah.
And you can see the red line. You're able to get tighter to the left earlier because you're going slower. I physically can't do it. I can only get to the left at the last moment because of the speed I've gone through. So ignore the steering trace. Basically, try that fast left without doing a full lift, but nearly a full lift. And then we know you hug the inside through the hairpin, as you have been doing. Change up to 3rd gear before you hit the limiter.
I think, yeah, this right here is the section that I lose the most time right here. Yeah, and it's
yeah, you can see it on the delta here to here. Yeah. It's a big chunk. You lose over a second in that one corner from there to there, like second and a half almost.
Definitely.
But we've seen why.
That's the one we worked on.
Yeah, we know why. If I zoom in even closer here, you can see the difference in our line through there. We literally overlap. We're like crisscrossing. So just stay to the right longer. If you do one thing differently after this session, when you go and do some practice, that's the one. Stay to the right longer. We've got all of this session recorded. You can watch back when I showed you the replays if you want. If you're unsure, you can just see exactly everything we've seen in this session and check. But I think you're going to remember that now. Cause I've
No, that one I think is, it's obviously like,
and the next one. That one and the next one, because we spent quite a long time talking about this, where the compromise, there's a better compromise to be had.
The first one is stay right longer, such that it essentially just becomes a straight into a right-hander.
Yeah.
And the second one is the opposite. The second one is carry as much speed as you can into the first one, even if it means compromising the second one, because you can stay left. You need to be left anyway, so you're gonna be compromised on the second one. That means slower. That means you're gonna be left earlier, which is perfect because you have to turn right very much after, like.
So you get to have your benefit, and although there's a slight loss in the middle, it doesn't matter because you're going to get another secondary benefit as well. So, what you've done into there, you can actually see the red line there. If you follow the trace of your red line where you're positioned on the track there, if this straight continued where my cursor's going down here and carried on to like here, your compromise would probably be the better one. and I probably would be
that makes
doing it.
sense.
I'd just be putting a lot more focus on getting a great exit to there.
Exit.
That's all.
And that's pretty much that section on Snitterton.
Yep, Snetterton, yeah.
Snetterton. There is like a very slow section right onto a very long straight. And
Yeah.
there you said, like try to compromise the entry of the first one, because the second one gives into a very long straight, and you want to be right anyway, so you're going to be slingshot into the right side if you get a good exit out of the second.
Yeah.
You know the chicanes I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Anyway.
Yep, so we're talking about, this is the last corner, right? Where you've got the long right, and then you've got like the pit straight, like the long start finish straight after.
No. I was talking about the straight right before the bridge. Remember, there's a straight that goes into the bridge.
Yeah. So are you talking about the chicane at the end of that straight, under the bridge?
I was talking about the two chicanes right before you get onto the straight.
Oh, because we're using the short version. That's why. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong version.
We're using the short version.
Yeah, we were using Snetterton 200. Yeah, that's right. I know the one you mean now. Yeah, the chicane onto that straight.
So now, if that one is followed by a very long straight, so
that's where you have like a hairpin with like a kind of chicane kink after it onto the long straight. Yeah, I remember now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a similar thing where you have to choose the best compromise, and in a different situation, you would potentially take a completely different approach to the corner. Like the way you take that hairpin at Snetterton on the short version, the exit is completely different to how it is on the longer version, where there's a different, there's a straight that goes dead ahead instead of left afterwards.
Yep.
But yeah, this is all just part of like developing the driving brain, is choosing the compromises best.
100%. Like I think that's another T-shirt you can. That's another. T-shirt
I'll try and think of a
create.
catchy slogan for it, because it's probably a bit long-winded.
Because you said it well. You said like you can't pick a compromise unless you know what comes next.
Yeah, this is a
great. That's it.
Yeah, this is actually a trick question that I don't tend to do it because I think it's mean, but it does illustrate the point. It's a trick question you do with new drivers on a track day, say, or someone learning in real life. And you give them a picture of a corner, say a hairpin, just literally a hairpin with no real information about what comes before or after. You just have a picture of a typical 180-degree hairpin. And you give them a pen and you say, okay, do me a favor, draw the racing line on here. And they'll draw a line of what they think is correct. And then you say to them, okay, well done, but how on earth did you know what that was supposed to be without me telling you what came before and after? Because the line you've drawn there is completely wrong. And then you can fill in, you can add like a tight left-hander afterwards. And you can say, the line you've just drawn there is completely wrong for this version. So you obviously are not being mean, because you're saying, we did this to you on purpose. This was a trick question.
Makes total sense.
But yeah.
Total sense.
No corners are not in isolation. No corner exists in isolation. So
exactly. I like that actually, and I think I like if that was done to me, I would have remembered it, because I would have totally said, well, it's the geometry of the corner.
Yeah.
Right? So
you go outside, inside, outside.
Yep. But actually, what if there is like a 90-degree coming right after? What if there is like a long straight? What if there is? It's interesting. Yeah.
If there's a long straight, for example, it would be like really late turn in and a late apex, because you want to get the best possible exit. But then again, it would also depend slightly on what corner came before. You need to know more. You need to know like at least one straight and corner either side before you can really make the best decision. But
I mean, like that. Yeah. Anyway, I know we're already 20 minutes over, but I was. Do we have the next session scheduled? I think
we did, but I can't remember. I'm checking. We are checking. Right, I've got my calendar open here. Scheduled events. Okay, so I have nothing till Monday. I don't have you on here scheduled again. So maybe we discussed it but didn't write it in.
Yeah, we did not, because the way the system works is you get 4 lessons, but
you
can only schedule the first one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just. I think the reason is, so first of all, it's just a limitation of the system, but also it makes my life easier, because 4 sessions could be, depending on the driver, could be 4 months from now if we only get to see each other once a month. So people's plans change, and it's easier just to catch up
No,
and shoot.
that makes sense. I just want to make sure that like.
So next week I have quite a busy week. I essentially Wednesday to Sunday I am completely out of action because I'm either not at home or I'm away racing. So the 8th to the 12th I'm not here. I have time on the afternoon of the 13th, and I have time at various points in the day on the 14th.
Okay, so 14th is a Tuesday, yeah.
So I have like 1 p.m. my time. I don't know if that's too early for you.
You were 9 hours ahead, right?
Maybe. Yeah, that's going to be really early in the morning for you, isn't it? How about we ignore that day, and I've got, yeah, the 15th, we're going to London to see a show, and we have to leave here kind of mid-afternoon, and again, that's going to, if this kind of time is best for you, then that's going to be too early. I'm
actually, hold on. Let me see. You say 1 p.m. Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Well, 1 p.m. Tuesday 14th. Let me see that real quick. Because it would be kind of like now. I mean, it would be like in an hour.
This is
for me. So 1 p. Yeah.
Hang on. This is 1 p.m.
So
my
UK
time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 1 p.m.
That's going to be way too early for you, surely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's a bit early for you. I think you have one of the biggest time zone gaps of the people that I work with. So the next day, so yeah, basically for you, we need evening times. Okay.
Yeah,
Here's a potential. On the 16th, I'm just checking. So yeah, on the 16th, I'm going to the Formula One kart thing. I've been invited, but I got like one of the fastest times of the month, so they invite you back for like a pro night or whatever. Anyway, that's
so bad.
That's in the evening at the F1 karting place, but I don't need to leave here until 5 p.m. Yeah, about 5 p.m. So I could do like 3 to 4 p.m. Although that's still like 6 or 7 a.m. for you, isn't it? That's gonna be a little early for you.
So you say 3 p.m.
Yeah, on the 16th. I think that's really that's 5 or 6 a.m. for you.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. It's a little bit rough.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next 3 days after that, I'm away at a racetrack coaching for the junior saloon car. Oh, am I? Yes, I am. Yeah, shit. Okay, how about then? I know this is like a bit of a bigger break. The 20th, Monday the 20th, or the 21st, I'm free all day. We can do any time. We can do this time, we can do later, whatever works. And then you're not having to fit in first thing in the morning, and I'm not having to rush you at the end.
Yeah, actually, Monday could work because that's gonna be like around my my lunch break. I can do like with the same time as today work.
Yeah, so what time? We were 7 p.m. my time today, I think. So yeah, I can add that in now. Let's do it. So I'm going to add it right now. View live page. So this is... Sorry it's such a big gap. So that's 7 p.m. my time.
It's all good.
It won't always be like that. I have such a busy time at the moment.
That's all good. I kind of hope that at that point I would already have at least the rig set up because I can at least have my current steering wheel attached, and that would make my life so much easier. Like I showed you the garage, right? That would be somewhere in the garage, and I wouldn't have to like lug all this stuff around with the work setup.
I think you've done extremely well, especially considering the equipment you're on. It might take a little bit of getting used to begin with, but ultimately you're going to have so much more information and have a much easier time with the good equipment. So yeah, I've just scheduled that. You should have just got an email, by the way.
Yeah, perfect. 11 a.m. Monday 20th. Yep, perfect. Yeah, that works perfectly for me. So I accepted it.
Okay, sweet.
And then maybe we can schedule the next sessions after that. Or I think maybe you have a better time. You have more free time after that. I don't know how it works. That would be the end of May.
Yeah, I will have more free time at the end of May. I've got quite a lot.
So
Cool.
what would the next one work for you?
After that one, let me have a look. So
no, we can schedule it then.
No. We can do it now. It's fine. I mean, I can do exactly. Is that a bank holiday? Okay, I could do the following Tuesday, or Wednesday. Hang on. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I have 2 go-kart races very, very close in succession. I was like, it can't be that one already. But yeah, that's a little bit in the future. Yeah. So we're looking at the 28th, or the 29th, or the 30th of May. I can do any of those. I can't do the Monday that week, but.
Yeah, let's do the 30th.
Okay.
Because I'm actually going to be working from home
Let's
that
add that
Thursday,
in.
so...
I'm adding it in right now. So... Oh, why have I got the 30th blanked out? It won't let me click that on my...
Oh, maybe it's too far ahead.
No, I don't think it is. I think I must have something else... Something else in... Why would that be blanked out? Let me come back to you on that one, because
Cool.
I can't see my main calendar. A while ago, I blocked out a lot of dates if I had work on those dates already planned. And it's not in my phone calendar, but there's a chance I've forgotten to put something in. So I'll check my main wall calendar. But yeah, I think that should be fine anyway. But we'll talk. We can talk.
7 p.m. UK time, that would be hypothetically.
Okay. Oh, why have I got an alarm going off? My phone's going off telling me it's the Miami Grand Prix qualifying about to start. That's funny. Okay, yeah, I'll confirm that one with you, but we've got the next one in anyway.
Okay.
Serge, you did a great job. Thank you for...
Yeah, thank you, man. I think that was definitely probably like one of my more consistent sessions